Thank you.
Can you hear me? Hi. Can you hear me? Yeah. All right. So just about everybody here I know, and you know where I live, about 900 feet from here. And you probably know I hear a lot of stories about what goes on around here. Well, I thought tonight I'm going to read a story to you, a story that was told to me. I'm going to tell it to you in the words of the storyteller. And I call this story A Stranger Who Came to Town. Blame it on the corona, blame it on the corona, blame it on the weather, blame it on me. I don't know, and I don't care. Bringing Marty home was a good thing, no matter what others say. We weren't looking for a hired man, not that we didn't need one, but money'd been short, and without Dad to do the heavy stuff, we've been shrinking the farm to hardly a farm. No more cows, no more pigs, and Mom and I had been discussing getting rid of the chickens, thinking they were going to be hard to take care of this winter when the snow got deep, and carrying bags of feed and water would be difficult. Friday night, about 2 months ago, was when I first saw Marty. Driving to pick up a few things in town is when I saw him walking along the county road. Nowadays, nobody walks those roads, and he stood out. That, and him being about 10 feet tall, and that I know just about everybody around here. What especially caught my attention was his height. Even from a distance, I could tell he was a giant of a man. That, and he was carrying a suitcase, not a backpack, but an old-fashioned handled suitcase, obviously heading somewhere and not from this area. I stopped in the grocery store and was heading to the coffee shop when I spotted the 10-foot giant again. Actually, it turns out he was only 6'5". I smiled at him, and he smiled at me. And he asked me where he could get a bowl of soup. Something came over me, think it was his smile, and I invited him to join me in the coffee shop. Needless to say, all heads turned around as I walked in with my new friend, Marty. Maddie laughed behind her menu. Sonny at the grill had come out of the kitchen to check on something or other, think it was me. I felt lucky. I didn't know a thing about this guy other than that he was cute, kind of looked like a movie star, and he was carrying a weird suitcase. But it didn't take long for us to figure out we had a lot in common. We both ordered scrambled eggs, rye toast, and tea with milk, and settled into a non-stop conversation proving that, and time and again, how much we had in common. He'd been working in the publishing industry as a junior editor and was let go due to the corona. And me, I like to read, and my dream had been to travel the country, though I'd use a backpack. He loved Hemingway, I loved Catherine Mansfield. We both loved the 1920s American culture. It seemed like every subject was brought up we agreed on, and we both thought the same. We could make each other laugh so easily, and he had sparkly blue eyes like I'd never seen. By tea, we were becoming fast friends. I think you kind of know when you meet a kindred spirit. It only seemed natural to invite him home. Not for anything other than a bed for the night. It was a gloomy, rainy sort of evening, and having him come along home with me just seemed to make sense. He could sleep on the daybed on the porch, better than a tent on the side of a road. Mom was surprised when we came through the door. She'd been on the way to bed when we arrived. I kind of glossed over how we met and made it seem like we were old friends from another time. I didn't go into detail. I myself, still high from the excitement of this new friendship, got some bedding and helped him settle in and headed up to bed myself. Not sure what got over me, but not sure what got me downstairs again. But he was up, and we began to talk about life and hopes and dreams. Seems we could go on forever, talking and laughing and agreeing on things. A wonderful feeling of elated enthusiasm came over me around 2 a.m, and I headed to bed, looking forward to morning when I get to see my new friend again. Well, Mom was downstairs making breakfast, and Marty was entertaining him with her tales of adventures. When I got downstairs, I could tell he'd won her over. It seemed as though he had a way with words. Suppose that was due to him being in the publishing business. Mom was telling him about running this place without Dad and the challenges she was facing. I think it was decided that first morning that Marty would stay around for a bit and help us get a few things done. He would be our handyman. By the end of the week, it happened gradually, Marty had moved up to my room. It only seemed natural. Mom, I could tell, was shocked, but being as she was still in shock over Dad's death, well, she shuddered but let it go. And Marty and I were now an item. By the end of the month, Marty knew everyone in town. It seemed natural, like he'd always been here. Well, can't tell exactly when things took a turn for the different. I think it was when Mom's sister arrived. Shelley came to help Mom, and she was shocked, to say the least, about Marty. They didn't hit it off, and Marty didn't take it well. Said it hurt his pride. I didn't seem to be able to stop the cascade of changes. Marty wasn't his fun self, and he stopped being our handyman. Fact was, he'd been taking to studying maps. I could see he was getting ready to hit the road. I hinted at going with him, but my hint wasn't taken. Marty said he liked being single on the road. It was a few days before Thanksgiving that he told Mom and me he'd be leaving next day. I was so hurt. I was numb. Next morning, Mom and I stared at each other across the table as we tried to eat breakfast. What had happened? Was it good or bad? We let him go? We had nothing to say, but I knew the neighbors did. Thank you.